Welcome to On Jae'Sean Tate's Junk, the podcast. Had to bring it back out tonight. On the King's Dime is back for another episode. The final episode of the regular season. The regular season is now done. A record-breaking season for the Kings. Just a fantastic, just all-round season. The season was magnificent. We're going to break it down in further on this weekend coming up. We're going to do it this weekend, yeah? Yep. And then finals next week, the week after that week, rather. But yeah, so we're going to wrap up the Illawarra game, talk a little bit about the awards night, good and bad about that, and we will save the preview and some of the... We'll give our final MVP for this game, but we'll save the results for that final season, wrap up of the season podcast. As always, if you're listening to us on Facebook, please give us a like. Go to the page and give us a like to get all the up-to-date podcasts, videos and stuff. I'm going to be doing a video on Melbourne, the team limping into the playoffs. Just great. Let's play them, shall we?
Atrocious.
But
they did not.
Yeah, sorry.
They did not deserve to get there at all. Atrocity.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. But it is what it is. We'll be playing them. I'll do a preview, and we are on YouTube. If that is your preferred listening platform, then get us on YouTube. Give us a like. We'll start off, I think, with the Illawarra game, and then we'll talk about the awards night. The Illawarra game was a victory, another record victory, 20 wins for the season. And it was... I've got a fly in here. What the hell? 98-82 over... Just the Hawks, man. Just... Oof, what a just disappointing end to their season. But I will say, we'll start off with talking about Sunday Detch, man. Just went
he was on
nuts.
fire.
He went absolute nuts.
He's one to watch, I think. Definitely one to watch for the future. I hope he stays down there and kind of builds that team. I think they need to build around a good core of players and maybe depart a few of their players. I mean, Ogilvy and Boone had terrible seasons, just absolute trash. I mean, obviously the LaMelo circus didn't really help after he kind of left, but it'll be interesting to see what they do for next season, what they kind of pick up with. But they got a couple of good players out of it. I think Greedo looked better down the end of the stretch, and Emmett Nah was good, although he didn't play this game.
Nah, is he injured? Or I think he got injured, actually.
Yeah, so that was... but yeah, I think it's time for Dave Anderson to hang the boots up just quietly.
Yeah, it's nice to watch. And he had that one game, I think, at the back end of last season, and then he had kind of a quarter and a half this season against us where you were just like, man, David Anderson, wow, really turning back the clock. But then... towards the end of this season, you could just see that, it's over pretty much for him physically in a league like this. If you can't get anything going, he really struggled in this game. I think playing against a team like Sydney, it's a tough ask. This Sydney team's pretty good defensively.
It's a tough ask in a dead rubber as well. It kind of had no meaning for the Hawks. They were away from home, just, there to round out a pretty abysmal season. But, I mean, Sydney looked good. Bogut looked good. Everyone looked good. Jae'Sean Tate, again, just magnificent. He's getting that three ball going as well, which is good to see, especially getting to the finals race. This team has now shot more threes in this season than any NBL in the 40-minute game in history.
Yeah. It's a lot of threes, man. Are we happy with that?
It's a lot of Casper Ware threes, and I'm not happy with that.
Some bad ones too. Having gone through all the research for that video and then just abandoning it, just being like, I just don't know what his problem is. He did shoot the three ball quite well in this game, 5 of 11. It's better. I don't know if I'm kind of happy with 5 of 11. I don't know, like 3 of 10. Kind of, I'm not happy with when Casper's shooting a couple of those flaming bags. But in this game, he looked a lot better. But I think he's got to see him go in too. Like, if he just sees him go in, I think he can get hot for a final series. There wasn't really much that changed in this game that made you go, you know what we did in this game? This is what unlocked Casper for this game. So again, I don't know if we're going to go into this final series and we're going to see us doing the things that get him going from 3.
I was laughing my head off just because obviously Craig Moller and Kevin Lish were back for this game. Craig Moller obviously coming back from quite a long layoff. And they were talking about Andrew Jae'Sean were talking about how Jae'Sean Taylor is still playing.
Yep.
And apparently he was injury cover for Lucas Walker. And Andrew Jae'Sean says, I've heard he's got gastro. How long does gastro last? 6 weeks?
6 weeks. I was like, yes. 6 weeks, definitely. Yeah, for sure, man. And
6 weeks
that's
of gastro?
Yeah, for sure. I'd be like, oh man, I can't do it. Doctor's certificate. Get find a doctor in the inner west and get that certificate, and pay you $20 and be out for 6 weeks. I'll be happy with that.
I don't laugh much on commentary, but I was wetting my pants. That was hilarious. It was a good call.
Gazy was in pretty good form this season, to be honest.
He's so much better as a commentator than as a coach.
And he just says what he's thinking. And as much, like, it pains me to say, as much as Corey Williams, like, he's got pretty good chemistry with him because both of them just play off each other and say what they're thinking. But Gaze in general, I think, was interesting this season, his commentary. But that was such a good call. How long did Castro last? 6 weeks, hopefully, for sure. So we took advantage of that little wrinkle. I wonder how much more advantage we can take. Like, I saw a lot on social media. Look, how's this legal? This is rubbish. Like, and fair enough. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be biased, even though I'm quite biased, and go, yeah, fair enough. It is a little bit dodgy, but
so out of that, we can tell everyone that he's the designated injury cover for the team. So technically, even through the finals, because he's qualified, if anyone goes down, he comes in as injury cover. So
that's good, man. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and like most teams would not get the performance out of an injury cover like we have and been able to get out of him. Because you think about the first 3 or 4 games, everyone's just like, ooh, get Lucas Walker on.
Yeah.
But he's kind of come good, getting better, reading plays better, and integrating a lot better in the team. And now you just want to kind of say, hey, Lucas, just, play Xbox. Gastro bug.
Someone feed him a dodgy kebab, mate, from Jimmy's Kebabs in Parramatta. Shout out. So Craig Moller did come back for this game. Do you think he didn't look good, man, to me?
No, he didn't look good, but what 3 months out, not really the best training facilities, not really the best rehabilitation staff. It's not like the NBA when these guys come back and they've had, individual coaches just shooting around with them for hours and they're getting their mojo back. It just seems like I watch some of the Instagram videos of the Kings bloody at the Auburn basketball center. I just think, wow, this is professional sport in this country. So that's
it's funny because like a lot of the European high leagues in Europe do have the same sorts of facilities, like just rec center, and then they play in like rec centers as well. Like Brisbane, the level of Brisbane's arena is on par with their better arenas. So you kind of look at Australia and just go, man, like, I can't believe they're training in Auburn Leisure Centre. But at the same time, whatever gets them through, man, I'm like, whatever. It's a unique facility. You're like, it's nice. It's homely and stuff like that.
It really brings back memories of childhood days.
Yeah, I've been in there a few times. It's good. I played in a chess tournament there, I'm pretty sure, when I was, about 12 years old. Showing my worth to society. But I think he looked a little like he was looking like he was running a little funny as well, like not quite even ready. Like they just kind of jammed him in there and just said, just see what you can do type of thing. Didn't rebound the ball very well, but Brad Newley and Taylor rebounded well. And Cooks, again, I think comes in with a different dynamic. Like at the start of the season, you were going, Craig Moller, you need to get in there and grab those boards. Whereas now you're just like, Craig, you don't need to because Cooks has got it. And then, that kind of flows on to Brad Newley and Taylor can get some, or whoever's playing guard. And JT got 5 as well. And then obviously Bogut in there. Bogut, man, that's just... looks like he's just moving very sluggishly.
Just quietly. How did he make the all-second team NBL?
It was not the greatest season, but hey, man, they just get a little Bogut quota in there. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I mean, you probably look at the other centers. Like, wouldn't you think that, like Sean Long? I mean, I don't like Sean Long as a player, but as the season he's had as their predominant star, shouldn't he get a bit of a weigh-in There wasn't a traditional centre in the All First team, so that's even weirder. There was not a actual Nick Kay's not a centre; he's a power forward. So not even a centre in the All First team, and then a centre that plays 19 minutes a game and doesn't score the ball and hasn't blocked any shots all year gets into this. It's a little bit. This voting system is a bit strange. I think they're just playing to the aura of Bogut, who was a great player for many years and played extremely well last year, and this year just kind of taken a back seat in what has been a Kings outfit that really hasn't needed him to move forward. But just going back to Molo, a little bit of news on Molo. He's been invited to Dallas Mavericks Summer League camp.
Sweet.
So could see him play in the Summer League, which is, great. Just
definitely,
great
I'm in.
His growth, and I'm pretty sure he'll be playing NBL 1 South this year as well. But if he gets a Summer League invite, maybe that will be good to get over there and play with some of the draft picks and some of the other guys. So that's pretty cool. But Lish looked good as well. Lish looked back to good Lish, drank some shots, and just rest him for the rest of the game. And it was an easy enough game.
Lish still, like, you're not going he's back. You're kind of going,
no.
All right, looks a little bit better now. It kind of looks like you want Moller to be at that level where he's at now, but that's 4 or 5 games in, or 3 or 4 games in, to where Lish is on his recovery. Jordan Hunter came out and played 9 minutes. I was pretty happy with that. I was actually like, man, these are some pretty solid minutes. But then you kind of look, you're playing against a team at the bottom of the league against 2 of probably the 2 worst centers in a combination and probably individually in the league, in Boone and Ogilvy. In terms of, maybe not individually they're not the worst, but in terms of the season they've had in the team they've been playing in, they have to be probably the 2 worst in the league. Ogilvy feels like he's like a budget Daniel Johnson from Adelaide. Do you feel like that? He lost all his weight and then I'm going to become a scorer, and then just can't score the ball. It's like, well, what was the point of losing all the weight? You may as well just, keep on the size inside. That Todd Blanchfield was just throwing up bombs every time he got the ball. It was nuts. But I was still like, keep shooting it, man. I love seeing him shoot the ball. It's good to see Toddy Blanchfield, just go out swinging, throwing up flaming bags. 4 points, 2 of 10 on the night. 0 of 6 from 3.
That's a bad way to end the season.
The other interesting thing was Brad Newley came off the bench in this game and Kevin Lish started, which I liked that. I thought rhythmically it felt a little better, but there's so little to draw from this playing the worst team in the league.
There is. I think for spacing wise, you probably want to keep JT and Newley on opposite ends of the scale so that there's, more of that one-on-one basket scoring. And Newley kind of works kind of well with Kickett, I think, as well, as Kickett becomes that trail shooter, and Newley can work inside. But I think when you do play Newley and JT, they do kind of get in each other's, and you see Newley's, efficiency drop. So it'd be good to play those guys on opposite ends to give, fast pace as well as some one-on-one scoring. But Newley played well. I think the whole team just played well. I mean,
I thought, it was a good again. Like I said a few weeks ago, like I want to see this team close the season out, close it out. Don't just like last season where we just limped through a bunch of those games and everyone was going, oh, you have it, no, you have it. And then we've clinched it, we've had the record season. Now it's time for this team to sort of go, right, we've got all that out of the way. It's time to switch on and make this a memorable finals. Anything else from this game? Cooks, I thought, was good. He was looking for his shot a little bit, playing a little bit more aggressive. He had a good night. And then Kickett again played quite well. Should we quickly just knock over the 3-2-1 MVP?
Yeah.
Kings Time MVP.
Yeah, for me, it's Tate won 3 points. Newley played really well, I think 2 points. And I think Cooks had a good game, 1 point.
Tate, Newley, Cooks. I had Tate also, and then I was looking at it before. I thought Taylor, I had Jae'Sean and then Newley. Because I thought Jae'Sean played quite well. He hit a couple of timely big buckets. Casper Ware almost kind of, you went, deserves a little mention, but if he hadn't, been throwing up flaming bags all season, it kind of means a lot less seeing this game. You're just like, but, they went down tonight. So hopefully he fires up for the finals because we're going to need him to shoot the 3-ball well. So that's the MVP for the season out of the way. We won't spoil it. We'll bring that winner on next weekend when we do our season review. And should we just quickly talk about the MVP, the awards night, the Gazies?
Gazies?
What did you think about that? Dubbing it the Gazies.
Well, that's fair enough. He's the best local player we've had in terms of local leagues that we've ever produced. I was actually thinking about this today as well, and I think probably he's the best local player, and Paddy Mills is the best international player that we've ever produced. So maybe one day they'll be calling it the Paddy Mills Award if he ever comes back and plays, because I think what he's done for Australian basketball would eclipse Andrew Gaze in a heartbeat. So it's a Gazy, good player, but yeah, I think that we want to see Paddy back here at some stage playing in the Illawarra colours. Dude, that dude's a champion. It's on NBA All-Star Weekend at the moment, and he's down building houses
what a legend.
Just like going to Bunnings and picking up stuff at the Fireys down on the south coast.
What a champ. Just such a top bloke.
Such a top bloke. But yeah, the awards for me, I mean, Bryce Cotton, no surprise.
Yeah, do you think we'll start with the big one? I was like, yeah, man, fair enough. All right, take it. You know, I thought all of the people that were in the running, you could have given it to any of them, and I don't think anyone would have gone, oh, robbed. You know what I mean? Like all of them could have got that award, and you would have gone deserving. But I still think, Cotton probably the best out there.
Yeah, and again, that team's built around him as well. So it's very hard. And last year, that team was built around Bogut. Bogut was the focal point of that team. So when you look at Sydney, when you look at Melbourne, when you look at Cairns, when you look at Brisbane, there's no focal point. It's a team. Well, you can't look at Perth and just like, if there's no Bryce Cotton, team just falls apart. There's no winning. It's just him.
Although who did they beat? Adelaide. Man, Adelaide. Yeah. Without those guys.
Yeah, but it's Adelaide.
Nick Kay, sneaky Nick Kay MVP.
No, I was surprised that Jae'Sean Tate didn't get more votes. I don't think he was in the top 5.
Yeah, surprising, man, because he I think if he had won it, I would have gone, yep, definitely happy with that.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That's probably not biased. That's more like, yeah, legit. He had phenomenal season. Again, you're saying, using the sort of, he's the focal point. Like JT's not the focal point, but I think JT was better defensively and not better offensively, but I think his defensive ability made it enough for you to say, look, MVP caliber. He had it on both ends.
Yeah. Well, first team probably deserved it. Second team was a bit weird.
Yeah.
And defensive player of the year was just strange.
Yeah. Why? I don't understand. DJ Newell, like what?
Yeah.
I thought JT had that sewn up. Like he was phenomenal all season.
Yeah. I don't know. Just I suppose this is what happens when you vote in a collective. But yeah, very weird. Casper Ware kind of didn't even make anything. But I mean, he's not really had a great season, which is understandable. Like I said before, Bogut getting selected on the all second team. Look, if you're going to look at stats purely, you probably would have given that to Dane Pinot. To me,
Dane Pinot, not a bad shout.
Yeah, you look at stats and I suppose what he's done. It'd be interesting to see, what Bogut actually did on the defensive end. And, blocks weren't there. Probably caused more points to be scored in the mid-range because of his inability to step out.
Yeah, definitely helped Bryce Cotton's MVP case.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a little interesting night. There was nothing. The weirdest one for me was Defensive Player of the Year. I wouldn't call DJ Newell a defensive juggernaut, but yeah,
second in steals. Bryce Cotton obviously was first in steals, 1.74 a game. They're not high numbers though. Blocks per game, Will Magnay, but Will Magnay, like he won Rookie of the Year deservedly, I think. To have 2.15 every time Will Magnay played, you were just like, he's gonna starch someone, man, because his timing is so good. His timing makes you go, this kid could has a shot in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like you don't say that about many players where you're just like, I want this kid to have a shot because I think he can be something. Like you didn't really have that feeling with Mitch Creek, Like you had that. I want to see him have a shot and see what he does, but I think I want Will Magnay to have a shot because I think he's got a real shot of playing. As a center who can shoot the ball and block shots, because he was phenomenal this season. I think defensively, Cam Oliver, blocked 1.6 shots. Eric Griffin led the leagues in blocks early on in the season, tapered off a little bit in a pretty poor Adelaide team. And then Sean Long, this is pretty grim kind of field, really.
Well, grim field, and none of those guys made second team, and Bogut did.
Yeah, all right, sure, yeah. Maybe not grim field, maybe like even field. Like, I think the league this season, like, everyone got better and everyone kind of equalized rather than the best players rose even more. Like, I think the league just equalized, and there's like lots and lots of really, really good players this season.
I would agree that the standard of games in this league has probably gone up 15% on last year.
And the refs have not gone anywhere.
No, man, they're just absolutely disgusting.
I can't even remember what his name is, who won that Ref of the Year award, and then on social media was getting pilled, absolutely blasted on social media. You're kidding me? Video review Vaughn or something. But man, I was thinking about it midweek, and I'm like, man, it must be hard to be a ref. I would not want to be a ref because it's a tough gig. But I legitimately think the refs need to sort of this season take a step back and get better, because the league's gotten better. There's been some really, really good players this season, and I think, the refs need to get better, and it's going to be important. Suit game, Kings suit game, and JT with the cornrows. What do you think?
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know if I'm a fan.
I don't think so.
I think it's probably a little bit too early. It doesn't feel like Diddy with the cornrows, where you're just like, Diddy, like, nah, bro, like. He threw those away. But, cornrow game, not too bad. Suit game for the Kings, not too bad. JT with the grey suit. How'd you feel about that one?
Yeah. Fashion's not my thing.
Nah? Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Moving right along then. It's not my thing either, but, just throwing that one out there for a little bit of content. No worries. But it was good. I didn't want to transition to this awards. Although I wasn't, like, watching it, I still felt like it was just punchy. It was to the point. A lot less just rubbish. Like, let's have 30 wags come in and talk about their dresses and that. No, let's not. Let's just awards. Larry Kesterman just talk some trash, and then that's it. We're done. Out of here.
Done. Easy.
Like, I was like, yes, that was good. I felt like that was a good awards show.
I did as well.
Yeah.
I like things short and sweet. And I'm hoping that the league expands enough to kind of incorporate more as well. So, there is talk of just moving on to something side stories. Hobart getting their own NBL franchise, which would be nice to round out the 10, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, in the background nailed on to happen, right? Conspiratorially nailed on to happen.
Yep.
Just going quickly back to the awards night, we forgot about the ultimate robbing of the night. Sean Bruce not making sixth man of the year. Are you kidding me?
Kick it.
But Jason Kadee is like, what? The Mr. Oh, I'm going to get hot, boys. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's a bit. I think it's the kind of the 7-game win stretch they had. He was quite valuable. But if you look at the season as a whole, kind of like, that's why I think he kind of compressed all his votes into 7 games and kind of stole it there.
Yeah. No, I'm not having it at all.
Not having a bar of it?
No, not a single bar of Jason Kadee. Are you kidding me? I like Kadee, but I'm like, no way was he sixth man of the year in a team that finished, fifth, five games behind, a legitimate 20-win team that had a leader off the bench who you were like probably most like a candidate for most improved as well. It was like, wow, like he's really glued this team together. Like, barely got a mention. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, what?
Kick it came runner up in that.
Did you feel like Kickett was better than Bruce?
I think Kickett switched in and out of a starting position, so not really sixth man, but Kickett did something that I don't think any other centre in the league could, and that was to semi-guard the spot as well as shoot threes at a high percentage. I don't think anyone else could have done that. So you could understand why Kickett was... But I think Bruce did more defensively off the bench. I think just the scoring waned a little bit towards the end of the season. But I didn't see his name in the top 3, so Must be the judges see something that we don't, or we see something the judges don't.
Kick it just quietly finishing the season 51% from three.
That's absurd.
Just
On
nuts.
decent, just decent attempts as well. It's
Yeah. Three attempted, 3.25 attempts, 1.64 makes. That's not, look, that's not the highest. You know, I'd be more impressed if it was 5 shots a night, but having watched the whole season, 28 games, watching this guy shoot the ball, it just felt increasingly all season like you're just like, he's going to knock this down, bang. You're just like, yes. So I think he's going to be a huge addition to this final series. He's going to be having to shoot the 3 ball against Melbourne. We won't be doing a preview. We're going to come through with a video next weekend, or I'm going to try and get it out next weekend. Do a video. Anything else we need to talk about? There's no predictions. What are we going to do? Any sort of predictions for the finals? Nah. That's it. Paul Fox, shout out. He won the on the Kings 9 tipping comp with 82. I'll be sending you some sweet stuff in the mail.
Cool. No predictions. Well, I think Perth take that series 3-1. I think the Cairns might sneak a game away at home. 2-1.
3-1. So what? Where's this other game coming from?
2-1. Yeah, sorry. And I think we successfully chubbed Melbourne in 2. So yeah, I think that the final series will be the teams that actually deserve to be there this year.
Yeah, I don't know about the Taipans, man. Just the way they lost those 2 games at the end of the year was just like had that bit of a "are you pretenders" type thing to it. And you know, Perth's obviously Perth. Melbourne just limping in was just like, why, man? Like, I thought the Breakers were probably better value for that spot, and even Brisbane, but mainly because, like, you know, Brisbane's going to wilt at the end of this. You know what I mean? Like, you know they're going to be like, the lights are too bright in this finals. They did that last year against Perth. They kind of wilted at the end. And I felt like we had a better matchup to them. They didn't have that kind of like deadly hustle where they could just switch the hustle on and you'd just be like, oh no, we can't do it. You know, like a few teams this season have done that to us. And, but Melbourne just really, man, do we have to play Melbourne again? There's a lot to lose in this series and just, yuck.
Yep, yuck it is.
And I think that rounds it out for the final episode of the regular season. Is there anything else we need to go on about? No.
We'll be doing a comprehensive preview next weekend with all the goodies for the Melbourne series, and going to try and live stream game 2, I believe, and you know, have a watch long, so that'll be good.
Yeah, come along and watch that. We'll plug that definitely all the way up until the game. What's the 29th? It's the first game. What's the second game?
31st.
Is it a early?
No, 29th. It's the second. It's a Monday night game. I think it's a Monday night. Yeah, it's a night tip. 7:30 Monday night.
Tips. Give me afternoon tips, man. Getting old.
It's that 5:30 a.m. wake up call.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave that one there. A shortish one to round out the season. Remember to like, share, and subscribe on Facebook and on YouTube. If you haven't, if you do watch on YouTube, go over and give us a subscribe. Get our numbers up. And then we're on Twitter and Facebook, so give us a like there. If you're watching on Facebook, just hit the link and give us a like. Tell us what you think as well. Give us comments. We like to interact, so make sure you come along and interact when we do the live stream. And as always, we will see you guys next time
on the King's Dime.
Take it easy, everyone.
See you.